Hello, hello, hello. Greetings, adventurers of Vera. Welcome to Tavern Talk at the Golden Feather Tavern. We are Vertek and Chibi, keepers of this fine establishment. The Golden Feather Tavern is open to all travelers to come and share their thoughts on the inner workings of Vera over a nice tankard of ale, mead, hot chocolate, or other delicious beverage of choice. So raise your glass, pull up a chair as we delve into tonight's discussions. Today is the 4th of February, 2025, and we're on episode 36, and it's going to be a community hangout tonight. And,
you never
Chibi,
said go.
I did say go.
I didn't hear it. There was nothing. You said what you said. You were like, when I say go, give it a couple counts, and then suddenly like hello, 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 and I'm like, hi.
Oh my goodness, goodness, goodness.
I have no idea what we're talking about tonight. What are we talking about tonight? We're talking.
Well, we found a couple little topics here.
Okay.
So we're looking at things like faster mounts, having more lives until they're dead permanently. They're looking at corruption and how punishing it is, or could be. How will Ashes battle inflation, or how could it battle inflation? Guild leveling, and how difficult and almost impossibly long it's going to take. And potentially, if we get around to it, because I know this isn't a topic that you would have much input, so it depends on who tries to join us. And that would be
if
tank, and how draining it might be to play.
Okay.
And by it might, I mean it kind of is.
Yeah, I can't talk much on that. I don't know if you guys noticed me not really knowing what to say whenever Vertek brings up the tank topics, but all I know is I've seen people say that they're not playing tank anymore because it's boring for them at this point. So yeah, tanks might be in a little bit of trouble if they can't figure that out soon. But before all that, I believe there was a redeem for a hydrate. So cheers.
Oh, get the water here. I did see that. Cheers.
I'm doing not water. Still leveling my tank. It's super easy. Yeah, it's not really about how hard or easy it is to play. It's about how fun it is to play.
Yeah.
And Vertek can get way more into that. If you want to even just touch on that real quick.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, it's also when it comes to like super light touch on this, because again, it's not a topic Chibi will be able to interact with much. Yeah, leveling tank, it's easy, but it's also incredibly slow compared to everybody else, because you can't really take on as many creatures, you can't move as fast, you have to stop more often because there's almost zero self-sustain in there. That being said, the rework of the current skills, I don't know what that's going to end up being like ultimately, because I've only played a little bit in trying to go out and just do stuff on my own with the tank, because I've gotten in the habit of not doing stuff on my own like at all with my tank.
Yeah.
But I can say it's gotten more complicated, not necessarily in a good way. Again, things can change. It might be step one in their transition to a better tank plan. Who knows? But I know I've run with, so far I have 2 alts. One's a cleric and one's a bard, and they're solo machines. I tell you what.
At least in comparison to tank. Keep in mind, he's only really played tank this far.
Yeah, compared to tank, they are absolute monsters. Like I can solo the world with a cleric or a bard.
A clank.
I'm gonna start calling the cleric tank. That's what they're gonna be called in my headcanon from now on. They're gonna be a clank.
Yeah, and for reference, when we're calling them boring, it's not like in general they're boring. It's more like they got nerfed and now they're kind of boring, as what I've been hearing.
Yeah, they've grown tedious, because
that's a better word. Yeah, they're not as fun to play anymore.
Yeah, I guess I mean, if we're gonna, we could totally go down this rabbit hole, but to try to sum it up, tanks have to do a whole lot of stuff, right? Like they have to watch a lot of things, and they're supposed to be the controllers of a battlefield. And why did this stop? Okay, Sorry, I had to hit the music playing again. It stopped for some reason. I didn't even notice because we were talking. But yeah, they have to watch so many things on the battlefield, and they're supposed to be the controllers of the battlefield, right? That's supposed to be the tank thing. As you go out and you mark off areas with your wall, and you keep people from making certain movements, and you control people and control the activities and what's going on. You bring focus and whatnot to the battlefield. But if you're supposed to watch the whole battlefield, but also you have 3 things that are on cooldown at all times for about 8 seconds each that you have to micromanage, and then you have a builder spender type of gameplay. Then you're watching, do I have that resource? Do I need to build that resource? Can I spend that resource? How much of that resource can I spend? And then I need to use some of it for this and some of it for that, and then I have this secondary resource that I also need to spend some of for this and some of for that. And it becomes like you're kind of playing the life of a DPS that's just don't stand in bad stuff, kill the bad thing. And those are the two primary things for a DPS to do. The comparison, and just it feels like there's so much to stress out about.
Yeah. But as Mr. Noobtastic did say, you know, that there's going to be a lot of adjustments to tank many more times as we go, more than likely. So we'll see.
Yeah,
we'll see.
Yeah.
And hello, Proctees. Thank you. And Wizard, apparently from Overlord. Hello, Wizard. Had fought us in the desert. And I'm thinking it was earlier in the phase, or maybe it was more recently. I don't recall. I don't really fight in the desert too much, I'm going to be honest. I don't like the desert
Yeah,
that
which
much.
fight are you talking about? Because there was one recently that was absolutely bananas.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh,
That
okay,
one.
okay.
Yeah, that was pretty fun. I'm going to be honest. For me, those fights are a blur. It's like when you go out to the parties and all you know is you went out and you had fun and then you came home, but you don't remember what songs were playing or who was the DJ. You just remember being there and dancing. That's how I feel with healing. I was just there. I was healing people. I was trying to stay alive, and we did things.
Yep,
my
things
perspective
happened.
as a cleric. But I wanted to share. Looked like you were spectating. Yeah, sometimes I might have been. In some cases, so like I ended up being late to that whole fight thing. I'm not really super into PvP, so in some of them, like the rest of the group had already added on to all of the caravans, and I was just kind of adding on to each caravan as I saw them. So there's a lot more that everybody else was already a part of. And I was just kind of sitting there just looking at people being white on my screen, like, please don't murder me. But I made this just now, but I wanted to say thank you to Woodchip and Chaffee, and there's one other person, and I forgot who that was. But this is a little sneak peek to something new that I want to do, and I tried drawing our mug. It's tiny, so it's hard to draw like a feather. But I want to start doing something kind of cool like this for our show. I have a couple more of these, so I think each month I might do like a dedicated thank you board and post this in our Discord and everything as I'm hitting myself in the headphones with it. But super big thank you. And we have, if Vertec is feeling down for it, we have about 8 rolls to do at the end of last year, or spins, not rolls. The end of last year, we were doing about 1 spin per 5, and then y'all were murdering us. Like, I'm not gonna lie, you were murdering us a little bit. So we upped it to 10. So every 10 subscribers we get, we do 1 spin, and we try to do them in bulk so we have more of a fun community night with it. And this is one of those things. So because we upped it to 10, we now have 8 spins, and it's gonna be maybe some fun. I forgot what was on the spin. However, I have to admit, some things may or may not be available anymore because of the floods that happened. So just a heads up on that one. A Battle of the Hill over on Twitch. Cool.
Oh yeah. Oh, hey, Practice. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I'm actually a little bit scruffy right now. I wanted to try to keep up with it a little bit better. Try to trim this up.
Yeah. Hey, Face Twist, welcome in. And Mr. Noobtastic says, I love the desert. Yeah, healers have to spend so much of their attention on their friends and not the enemies or the fight. It's definitely a different life. It really is. There's sometimes where like people are like, oh, this mob makes a laughing move before it starts spinning. And I'm like, it does? I've never heard it laugh because I'm so focused on like paying attention to people's health bars.
Yeah, looking at the life bars of everybody.
Yeah. And Geldumbra says, hello, Vertec and Princess Leia.
I mean, I could see that. I could see the comparison. It makes sense.
It's just the headphones, really. That's about it.
And hey there, Umbra.
But I forgot what we have on the spins. So let me grab something from behind my magic background where I might disappear. And as we win stuff or as we roll things, I will write it down so that we remember what we rolled. We have 8 rolls.
Well, let me see here because there are a couple different ones. Oh man. And you know what? We're not even prepared for some of these. We might have to do a respin if we get some of these. Let's see.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was prefacing is we lost a lot of stuff in the hurricane flood, so unfortunately some stuff may not be doable. Like I had to get rid of the Bean Boozled, but fear not, we live close to things. I can get another Bean Boozled. It's just a matter of you know, getting back on track and figuring out what inventory we lost, because for those that don't know, typically we would like to be, at least on Saturdays, in our tavern garb, but we haven't been because we lost that in the flood too. So
yeah.
And the big reason why I want to say thank you to Woodchip is because Woodchip was very kind and donated a decent amount to help us get back on track with things. So that's Vertex already gotten his
The apron.
everybody asks him if he's a tanner or something, a butcher, but no, his cooking apron. And then I got my tavern garb back. I still have the second tavern outfit, which hopefully I can reveal that at some point. I kind of revealed that in Discord a little bit, but hopefully for the rest of you, you'll be able to see it soon. It just depends on when is a good time to share that. Even though you torched us to death. So yeah, I kind of gave them that heads up that we might need to respin a couple of these. So whenever you're ready, you just let me know and I will mark these down.
Okay, do you have Incoherent handy?
I don't believe I do.
Okay, do you happen to know where it's at for us to grab it? Because currently, just as a reminder, here's the things we have on the wheel. We have I cast Fireball. We've got Wiki Roulette. We have talk about a topic, and then it goes on to the point that I cannot read it. Let me see if I can pull up the URL here.
I think it was a chat suggestion. Chat suggested topic.
Okay.
I don't have Incoherent handy, but
yeah, talk about a topic that chat picks.
Without taking too much time away from chat, there is a online version. So I can try to do it. And maybe we can try to come up with some Ashes themed incoherence.
We'd have to try to invent them. We could do that another time. That'll take us a while
today. I'm not talking about today. I think that might be a fun like hangout session with the people.
Yeah, then we have creative concept. We have to come up with a creative concept about. I mean, that was more thought out by you. I forget what the creative concept was, and then the boss
creative
battle.
Concept is kind of like bad D&D characters, but Ashes.
Okay.
So,
okay.
It was initially like when we were just trying to figure out how the two classes could be. It's like It's like bad D&D characters meets wrong answers only.
Okay, fair enough.
So like mage meets ranger, wrong answers only. What would that look like?
Yeah, can you tell it's been a little while? Because we did these, what, like for 2 streams?
Yeah.
And then disappeared for 3 months because weather sucks.
Yeah. Don't get flooded by hurricanes, guys. You can help it.
Here's your warning. All right, there we go.
You can help it.
So we have that wheel all ready to go now. Let me see.
All right, cool. I'm gonna wipe these off because I was just showcasing that they were like 8 spins. So I'm gonna wipe them off and write down what the...
Whoa, I think the way OBS works has changed.
Oh, what happened?
Because I didn't mean to spin that. Landed on incoherent, but
Incoherent? Okay. Really sorry, guys. I came straight from the gym. I thought I was gonna be late for the stream.
Okay, there we go. I found where the button is.
Okay.
All right, so I'm just gonna go through 8 of these.
Yeah.
And call them out to you.
Let's just get them all. Let's get them all written out here.
All right, there we go. There's a proper spin. That's better. I cast Fireball.
Ooh, okay.
Ooh, we have a vanishing chibi.
Incoherent.
We have a reappearing chibi.
Fireball. Okay. What else?
And then answer Q&A from chat.
All right, chat. We might still have some backlog from a Q&A somebody did at 1.2. Might not be a bad idea to check that.
Yeah. We have PvP shots.
Oh, that's like rollies meets sore loser takes the shot.
Okay.
If you guys don't know what rollies is, I really like critical roll. So it's like 2 people rolled against each other, a d20, and the loser takes a shot.
Okay, and then creative concept.
Okay.
What are we at now? That's like 5, I think.
Yeah. 3 more.
Talk in third person.
Ooh, you guys like to pick on Vertec with that one.
And
he was
then
practicing while we were away, though. By the way,
I have been practicing. I've been practicing a lot. We got 2 talking third persons. Okay, 1 for each of us.
Okay. Times 2.
And then another incoherent.
Okay. Times 2. All right, so I think we should start off with incoherent and get those 2 out of the way. In the meantime, if anybody has any questions, there is a question redeem in the channel points over on Twitch. Unfortunately, we have no fun channel points for you on YouTube. I apologize.
Womp womp. But you get to enjoy the fruits of the Twitch labors.
Okay, so this one might be hold on. Okay. Let's see. This one's funny. You ready for this one? Let's see if chat can get it before Vertec can. All right, the first incoherent is delete Elmer Maid.
One more time.
Delete Elmer Maid.
Delete Elmer Maid.
Yep, delete Elmer Maid. Sometimes in the tavern, you get a little too tipsy and you become a little incoherent. You know, delete Elmer Maid.
Oh my gosh. I don't know. Maybe we should have done the fireball first. Get me in the right frame of mind here. Delete
Do you
El
have-
Mermaid. Delete El
Do
Mermaid.
you have your
delete
flask
El
of Fireball, or do you need me to bring you a flask of Fireball?
Ooh, I would need a flask of Fireball.
Okay. Maybe after we get done with the incoherent, you can chat a little bit about Tank with chat if they have any more to say about that while I make you a flask of Fireball in the alchemy room.
That works. That works.
Okay. Okay.
Oh, delete El Mermaid. Delete.
Yep. Delete Elmer Maid. You named one of your chickens Princess Leia. Nice. Does anybody have a guess?
Delete El Mermaid. All right, Chad, help me out. Help me out. What do you think? What could it be? Delete El Mermaid. Are you hearing something out of this that I'm not? Delete El Mermaid. Delete El Mermaid. Delete.
For a penalty, I can give you a hint.
Delete.
I'm trying to figure it out as well.
El Mermaid. No.
No idea. That's okay. It's meant to be a little difficult. I picked a tricky one because previously he kept getting them all.
Something mermaid. Delete Elmer. Delete El. Delete El Mermaid. Delete El. I mean, I guess the Little Mermaid, but the okay.
Yep, and Miss Snuggles got it right. Congrats. Good job.
Delete Little Mermaid.
The Little Mermaid. Delete El Mermaid.
It's so hard to mentally change over like where the emphasis is in certain words. It's so hard to switch it up. Gotta switch it up.
You know what is a good incoherent mistake that happens in Marvel Rifle?
What's that?
I suck.
Yeah,
I suck.
yeah.
More like misheard, but still.
Yeah, Luna shouts out, "I sup," but it sounds like she goes, "I suck."
I'm always like, no, you don't suck, Luna. You're just a little chilly. That's all.
Just a little chilly.
All right, so ready for round 2?
All right, yeah, let's do it.
Reese, urchin, deep element. Reese, urchin, deep element.
Resurgent element?
No.
Dope.
You forgot the deep part. Reese, urchin, deep element.
Resurgent deep
Element.
Oh, yeah. Okay, Faye's got it before I did. Good job.
Yeah, you got it right. Good job. Chat wins. Vertec, you were pretty close though. You got the first one. You're like right there. So you got it. You got it.
Good job there, FaZe. FaZe is winning the Champion of the Hill and the Incoherence.
Do you want your PvP shot to be a Fireball PvP shot or a White Rum Strawberry PvP shot in the name of February?
Well, let's keep it simple so we're not taking too long away from well, I guess if you're gonna be doing away from cam and I would be chatting, it doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
But I think it should clash with the Fireball. Whatever it is, it should clash. If we're both doing Fireball, the PvP shot should feel like a PvP shot.
Okay.
Could do that not so delicious apple pie rum.
Okay, yeah, we'll do the apple pie rum and while
we
you
gotta get through
entertain
it.
chat and I go step into the alchemy room real quick.
Mm-hmm.
Get back.
All right. So let's see. Actually, Chibi, maybe we should do the PvP part of that so we get determined who's gonna get that.
Oh, there we go. Then I'm making one shot. That sounds good.
Yeah, that way you're making the one, and we already know who it's going to
All
by the
right.
time it's done.
It was exclamation mark roll, right? Exclamation mark roll 1d20, I think. Or was it just exclamation mark roll d20?
Yeah, I think it's D20.
Oh no.
Oh my gosh.
Exclamation mark roll d20. You gotta beat a 20, and if you get a 20, we gotta do it again. By the way, this is our flask of Fireball.
Oh my gosh, I got a higher score than you. You think that means you lose? It's not working, is it?
I'm sorry. You need to take disadvantage for trying to cheat.
The dice are loaded today, though. The dice are loaded today.
For trying to cheat.
I didn't try to cheat. I tried to bamboozle because we can't bean boozle. I was trying to work with what we had. Okay, using the resources we have to the best of our ability. That's what I was trying to do.
Double shot for the attempted dupe. Deal. Chat spoke.
What? Oh, okay. Double or nothing on this roll. Is that what you're saying?
Oh wait, I guess we gotta. Okay. No, you're taking one anyway, regardless. What?
Oh, that's crazy talk. That's crazy talk.
You're the one trying to dupe. Ha! Take two.
Chat, I see whose side you're on. I see who the favorite is. That's fine. That's fine. That's fine. She's my favorite too, so I understand. I get it. Oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. But yeah. So we got a whole lot to catch up on as far as these spins here. Hopefully, we're gonna have a lot more to catch up on here real soon, because I think we need to figure out what even the next goal is gonna be and change it up, because it looks like we hit that the 70 sub goal. So resetting it for this month, what would you guys like to see for a sub goal? Because I think we've been trying to shift over towards at least one community night every month. So for the most part, we would end up focusing on hanging out with you folks and doing the spins to catch up on any subs and talking about what you guys want to talk about for sure. What would you like to see on those community nights? Anything interesting? Would you like to see us doing some gameplay as a goal? And doing like some playing with viewers stuff? Or would you like to see us doing more just chilling and chatting? More random spins for random reasons? Oracle says she has access to scorpion venom as an alchemist now. I have to stay on the good side. And that's also a fair point. Never piss off the alchemist. They make your drinks. Dropping stuff off the back of my table. Knocking it around. Let's see. But yeah, because I know we did if anybody has not seen us play around with this before, we still need to get in some more Heroes of Arcadia games. Especially since they had another Kickstarter and to add an expansion to it, and there's a couple extra new characters. So we'll need to get those added into the game to play too. I think right now that supports up to 8 players, but I'm sure we could come up with some additional tiles and some additional board space in order to expand that out, and maybe have up to 10 peoples. That would be a really long game though. See, the box always says, the box has always said it takes, what was it, 30 to 45 minutes per game, something like that. And our games with not the max people tend to go for like 2 or 3 hours. So I think we're playing it wrong. I think it's what the problem comes down to. We're playing it incorrectly, and maybe it's because we're having too much fun and we're talking too much of the game. But for some reason, we can never hit that 45-minute, like longest time for a.
One flask of Fireball.
One flask of Fireball.
And one loser's double shot. Pew pew.
And one winner's double shot. We're playing by golf rules, so the lower score was the better. Hey there, Paranaut. Yeah, this, by the way, the reason I told her to choose this for the PvP shot is because it's really not delicious. It sounded like it was going to be delicious. It was supposed to be like an apple pie rum. And you can see it's not like a dark rum. It's not like a light rum. It's something in the middle, so it was like a little bit of a spiced, but not heavily. It's really not the most delicious thing I've ever had in my life. It's not even the most delicious bad thing I've had in my life. It's just kind of like you ever have something where you can tell there's artificial flavoring in it? That's what this is. That's what this is.
Gotcha.
You can just tell it's all artificial and a little bit extra.
Mr. Cryptic, thank you so much for
Hey.
8 months. You know
Thank
what?
you. Oh,
Cheers.
for I see 11.
Oh, for 8 months at tier 1, they've been a subscriber for 11. Okay, got it. Sorry.
Oh,
11
okay,
months.
okay.
Cheers.
Yeah. For 11 months. Cheers to you.
I like
and
how
I'm gonna go into
okay.
my pain right now.
yeah. I have a nice glass of Moscato myself. What's up? Yeah, Twitch likes to separate them apparently, and I don't like that. Just tell me the total months. We don't gotta like, I mean, congrats on your 8-month streak, but we don't gotta like call them out like that, Twitch. Come on now. Be nice.
Oh man.
Thank you. It felt
my
very
gosh.
druidic, so I had to go with it. And then Vertec has dragons on his. Excited
Yeah.
for Rogue? Yes.
Except I think my
same.
dragons are gonna disappear. Yep,
Yeah.
they do. Because they're green.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you can kind of see through to the background. It's like erasing part of my face.
Yeah.
I like it.
In the future, though, I will say some of the money that I want to use from TGF's income and also my own personal income is going to make a kind of realistic tavern-y background. Maybe not this amazing. I wish it was this amazing, but that's a future me problem. But kind of like more like along a wall, for example. Maybe not a nice window, but
Yeah.
we'll see.
And also, this is going to be the year where we revamp and restart the making of mead.
Yes.
Um,
Making of Mead 2025.
had to replace a whole lot of stuff from the flood because I'm just not going to work with that. That water was nasty. I'm not even going to work with trying to imagine that even a tiniest bit of that nasty water got into the mead making supplies. So we had to get rid of basically everything there.
Yep.
But here soon, I'd say in the next 2 months, I'm gonna have everything re-prepped again and ready to go, and we're gonna start making many gallons of mead. If we can get
and
registered up and set up for it in time, we might be able to start selling that stuff.
Yeah, that'd be really cool. And for those of you that are subscribers, I'll be putting behind the scenes videos up for you of Vertec working on that stuff and explaining like his concept on things. I already have one where I am showing you some Tupelo honey. I don't know how to say that apparently. And it's actually really sweet. It's very, I understand what he means by like a marshmallowy type of honey, and I like it. I'm super excited to see what he makes with that. And then in the future, fingers crossed, we'll be able to do something fun like alpha testing for mead or beta testing for mead. And don't worry, you're not going to have to wait years for it. It's just going to be different tiers. So essentially, like the alpha testers will get like the first sample of the first sample. The beta testers will get the ones that pass through alpha, and then so on and so forth. To being able to actually get your own bottle of really good tasting mead once it passes through everybody else's test. So
CCC.
Mostly being devious. That makes sense. Rogues are for being devious for sure. But
That's their job.
I believe believe there's a mage in the chat because I cast Fireball.
Oof, all right. Oh, fireball it is.
Yay.
Hut.
Very summon. Fun
Hey,
fact.
it's better than the apple pie stuff. Just saying.
I like a Fireball in my horchata, and it is Taco Tuesday. Unfortunately, we don't have any horchata to put the Fireball in. No better testers than Doonal Dwarves for the ale and mead. Can't wait. Yeah, same, Paranot.
Hey,
Can't wait.
cheers to that.
Hello.
Yeah, Thoglu's going to be
Yeah.
high on the list of testers.
Yes.
I think he's already volunteered so much. He's like the grand poobah of pre-alpha testing for the mead.
Well, there's a mage in the chat, at least for now.
At least for now.
So, but I just wanted, again, like this is something that one of our subscribers got me off of our wish list. So if you guys are ever interested, I could share out the wish list for the tavern, where there's some cool stuff to make the tavern have unique things like this and this.
That's great. I love that little emote combo.
Yeah. Fireball.
Little fireball
Ghost.
blasting the ghosto.
And then if it was me, it would be like this.
Dead.
Typically what happens when I go up against a mage, just saying. All right, so if you guys have any questions for us, anything at all, doesn't have to be Ashes related, feel free to ask. But let's get into one of our topics real quick. And I really liked the topic that you had picked out for the where was it? Scrolling down. Feedback should be exploratory rather than deterministic. I think they're going down the route of, like us telling you our thoughts shouldn't be the end all be all. It should be like, okay, let's try that out, see how we like it. If we don't like it, we'll change it, try a different thing. Hello, Artest, welcome in.
Hello, Artest, and hello, Bonergeese.
Yes, hello, Bernies. Our mage is going to be sad. They are sunlocked for 10 seconds by rogues.
I mean, speaking from a tank's point of view, mages can just suck it up. No, I may or may not be bitter about the fact that mages can absolutely delete a tank in 4 seconds.
Yeah.
I don't feel very tanky at all when a mage is around, like whatsoever. No, I'm basically joking. But yeah, I think it's gonna be a tough call or a tough balance to be struck between being the rock to someone's scissor and being the 7 tons of dynamite to their rock.
Well, the struggle with that also is it's not based on a 1-to-1 like me versus Vertec. It's based on an 8v8. So it's based on like a group of 8 of us against a group of 8 of us.
Well, see, the problem is with that. So we're totally side veering off on a different tangent, but I'm okay with it because that's something that I meant to leave for some feedback at some point.
Yeah.
Is there's the concept of rock paper scissors, right? And that's what they're using to balance things out. It's not going to be balanced 1-to-1. Everybody's going to be equal power and whatever. There are going to be some classes or some archetypes that have a weakness to other classes or archetypes. And that's okay. It's going to be a big circle of one eating the other, etc. But if you're balancing it on an 8v8, you have a pile of rocks and scissors and a pile of scissors and paper. And how do you know what's what if it's balanced on an 8v8? How do you know who is the counterplay to what? Like, so at that point you're still comparing one versus the other and you're still making sure one can beat the other. So it still is kind of it is a rock paper scissors, but it is balanced on a 1v1 to make sure that one can beat the next. But the problem is there's no like interplay between others or balance in how far one can trump the other, That's I think where the tricky part's going to be.
And Mr. Kopajik says some tanks are running 3-piece light armor to offset. Bonergy says 4-second silence attacks, 4-second silence, and then a 2-second trip. Face Twist says also it's only a level 25 without a secondary archetype, and some of what I was suggesting to Vertec, I think in the previous stream on Saturday or even I don't know if it was last night, but recently, was that, you know, maybe it has something to do with them preparing for phase 3 and for doubling up on an archetype. What would that look like? You know? Yeah.
But yeah. I mean, obviously and that fits perfectly into the topic of the Reddit post that Chibi was talking about here. I'll go ahead and toss this out here because that's basically what they're trying to say is there's a couple different schools of thought and responses to posts and responses to content creators is what they're talking about specifically. And one is, this is an alpha, things are subject to change. I think I may have heard that statement once or twice before. I think Steven says something like that once a year or so. Like, it's really rare. Like, you almost never hear him say anything about that. But that's me being absolutely facetious. He says it every single time he says anything about anything or shows off a new system. But so there's that. But then the second approach is, but that's what they want. They want us to give feedback. They want us to talk about the game. That's why they gave it to us to begin with. And that approach.
Yeah.
But I think honestly both can be true at once. Like, we can say that this is an alpha, things are subject to change, while also like providing some feedback and saying that in this current state it feels like this. We know it's going to change, but I'm just throwing this out there just so you can factor it into the future changes. Here's what it feels like right now. Mm-hmm. But the overall purpose of that post was to say that feedback should be phrased in a way of being exploratory, where it's like, hey, the world feels like this, or the skills feel like that, or this thing feels like this, rather than saying things that are very like, the game is very grindy, this game is going to be a grind fest.
Instead of absolute, more of just giving an opinion.
Exactly. Like saying like, right now this feels like it's great or it's bad or it's whatever.
Yeah.
And that, to be honest, is my feedback for the tank thing right meow, is just reflect that fireball back at the mage. Hey, I try to do what I can, but see, the problem is there was one time when I was running around on my mount, right? And because I was on my mount, I couldn't use my CC escape, because you can't use any skills while you're on your mount. I couldn't dismount because I was frozen. I couldn't do anything for that 4 seconds. I was locked in place. I kept spamming my F key to get off my mount the entire time, and I died in 4 seconds without doing anything in response whatsoever. I just kept spamming F to get off my mount. So yeah, in that case, I couldn't do anything. But yeah, my feedback in that situation really is that tanks can wear even all light gear, but it's not going to make as big a difference as one might think. So I currently have on my tank with all either Carfin, Steel Bloom, or Befallen pieces for everything, top to bottom. It's all those, or it's a like a rock necklace that's like a +7, so it's above that gear even. Mm-hmm. With all that in mind, I think it comes up to about a 49%, maybe a 50% mitigation for physical, and half of that for magical. If I flipped the script on it and I made it all magical instead of physical, so I would last 6 seconds instead of 4, is what it would basically boil down to. And I think that's just really, really, really fast. I think that's stupid fast. Because I know originally it was stated, granted the statements have changed since then, but originally it was stated that it was going to take 20 to 30 seconds or something like that. I forget what the exact number was, but it was a long time for TTK, or time to kill. And that was to be basically for anybody, TTK, time to kill.
Yeah.
But it's, if a tank, think of this, a tank, the person with the most health, the most mitigation flat out, which means that the only person who might have as much mitigation in that specific circumstance would be another mage. And this is maybe because if they're wearing all light armor, they might have almost as much magical mitigation as a tank with additional just flat mitigation rating across a bunch of gear, and built into their stats, like with grit and whatnot like that, adding mitigation percent, and it's just flat mitigation percent. It applies to both physical and magical.
Yeah.
With those things adding all together, a mage might have the same magical mitigation as a tank who's wearing full heavy with physical mit and armor as a main stat. Now, if that's the case, then that means a mage could probably delete a cleric who's mixing up with some heavy gear to survive fighter attacks, or a ranger, or another, like, basically anybody else outside of a tank, even faster than 4 seconds. It's going to be about a 2-second deletion. I feel bad for a ranger that gets, like, smacked by a mage. That's going to be, they don't even finish their initial rotation and the ranger is going to be dead.
Yeah. We have a question from a first-time chatter from Smoothie X. Smoothie X says, "Hi guys, hope you both feel well. Thank you, appreciate that. How do you both feel about the idea that some people do understand it's an alpha and it's to test, support, and or aid in the creation of the project, but enjoy it as if the game is released, but can separate the two things?" I think that's fine. I mean, I honestly am one of those people. I feel like I would fall into that. I'm aware that this is a test. I'm aware that there are things that they're still working on. But the game is fun enough that I enjoy it as if it were already a release. Now, to say that, I recall things like, yes, we are still testing. Yes, when I launch my caravan and I begin my way to Miraleth, there is a chance I might be randomly teleported to Carfin again. That's okay. And also, I'm gonna be honest, Vertec and I put like 1 week worth of effort grinding up to 25. And if I lost my character tomorrow, I would not be upset because I'm aware this is a test. And if they have to wipe the server, not saying they're going to, just putting this out there, if they have to wipe the server, I'm not tied to my character. I'm tied to understanding and testing things out and figuring out how that works. And all of this is just information for me to figure out how to get from point A to point B a little faster next time so that I could test those things out a little sooner or test out other things. That being said, I also agree with Vertec. Mages kind of kill me quickly. And, you know, things as a healer, you know, Boner Juice uses heavy gear. I use light gear. There's a difference in our comp, you know, so your comp might do well or less well against other comps, and that's just how it's gonna go. And I like learning that. I like figuring out what that is. I like seeing how things work, and my favorite thing is seeing something that we've been watching be a problem in the game get fixed and then go through and test it. Like every time they say that they fixed the caravan, I immediately want to go run a caravan and see if they actually fixed the caravan or if there's still a bug there, and then report that bug. So things like that. What is your take on that? I know I just completely blurred out a lot.
Oh no, that's fine. It's a big question. I mean, for one, it is actually a long question as far as like the length of a Twitch comment, but also it's a big question as far as there's a lot to it.
Yeah.
I think that a lot of people currently in there don't really understand what an alpha is and what it means to test an alpha and to report on those and expect everything that is involved with an alpha. Like there's going to be wipes, there's going to be bugs, there's going to be things that are going to absolutely delete things off of your character, and you're not allowed to truly be upset about it. You're allowed to not want to take part in that system while you're quote unquote playing or testing, because you don't want your time and effort to go to waste, because you know it's broken. The dev team knows it's broken, therefore why should you keep interacting with it until they fix it? That's an okay stance to have. But I mean, that being said, testing it further and adding more angles of feedback on it is never a bad thing. But I know I personally approach it in both angles. I approach it from the casual player of a game, because in the end, that's how everything is supposed to be consumed, is as a player, not as a tester. So I want to play the game, and I want to experience it as someone who's playing the game would experience it in order to bump into bugs to then report. But then every once in a while I get, you know, a wild inspiration to go through and say, hey, I wonder what would happen if. And I'll deep dive into different explorations of, can I break this? Is it broken already? And how much more can I break it? And usually with me, I haven't, with Ashes anyway, I haven't really found ways to break things deeper than has already been discovered, or it is on a surface level like this is broken, which is good, because that means that they have some things that are bugs, but they don't have bugs that are causing some devastating, like truly broken, oh my gosh, this is game ending. And the fact that they haven't reset the server or restarted a server since they went live with the phase 2 alpha in December is kind of a good thing. We haven't bumped into something that's legitimately game breaking.
Raid.
Dusty.
Hello, Dusty.
Why?
Also, I want to say, Guggen, now that I can talk real quick. Welcome in, Guggen. as well.
Yeah, do it.
Hello,
Guggen.
Nanciza. Hello, and everybody else coming over from Dusty's raid. Welcome in. I'm TB. You may hear me sometimes on Vertex Mead Quest, but may not see me. But welcome in. Tonight is our tavern talk where we just sit back and we chill. And hello, Kinko. Welcome in. How are you, friend? And we're just kind of having fun. We were doing some games earlier. We played a couple runs of Incoherent, had a shot of Fireball, and I beat Vertec in a PvP fight. So he had a double shot of apple pie whiskey.
I had to do a double shot of terrible apple pie. It sounds delicious. Don't let the name or the description misguide you.
Cheetos and milk. I'm not gonna knock it till I try it, but I don't know if that sounds good.
Yeah.
Milky cheese.
I mean, I'm just saying that's what cheese dip is, right? It's just cheese and extra milk to thin it out.
Yeah,
or
that's fair.
Vegetable oil, depending on what brand you get, I suppose.
That's fair.
But,
I don't know.
Okay.
So when are we getting more freeholds to purchase? That's a good question. Hopefully soon. Hopefully
very soon.
Well, Kinko.
We have the money saved up to buy a freehold. We just need one to become available. So if you know anybody on Laneth who's looking to get rid of their freehold because they can't do anything with it right now, we will gladly give them 100 gold.
Quick question.
We will give them a refund.
Why does this seem daunting though? Why does it seem like a threat maybe? Please do try it. ...
Please do try it. ...
Rent one from Thor. Would love to if Thor was even on our server. But word on the street is there's gonna be more land, which maybe means more freeholds.
I mean, I got my fingers crossed for that.
Oh, Thor's on Laneth? What? How did I not know? What is starting with the ellipsis? No, it's not like the ellipsis itself. It's more like plotting.
It's one of those like when you see it in a book, you know that somebody's going, so about that thing you were talking about.
Yeah, exactly. ...
Like, you know, it has that feeling in a book, right? It's like there's a reason they're pausing. There's a reason.
Forgive me. I've already had a shot. I've already had one of these. We're just, we're just vibing tonight, you guys. Okay. Well, I'm gonna have to find Thor because I didn't know Thor was on Laneth. I haven't seen anybody from Dunehold.
Oh yeah. No. That's pirate. Thor is pirate. Yeah.
Oh, rent one from Thor. Why did I think Thogli? My brain was like Thogli, not Thor. I'm so sorry, y'all.
What the heck was his name? Like something with an M. I remember the name when I see it.
I know. Maldivius.
Yeah. Oddly enough, I haven't actually seen him on the server. Like I've seen the guild everywhere.
He murdered me. No. We were fighting over a caravan, and I was like, "Oh, okay, they got it. I'm not needed here." So I leave, and I'm running away, and he hunts me down, and he murders me on my way away. I was like, "All right, fair enough." Don't worry, I like it. How's it going? It's going pretty well. Yeah, I don't know why I thought Thogli. I don't know. My brain assumed Tavern, so maybe dwarves, but yeah. Sorry, because when you say freehold, I think tavern. I don't think freehold, because that's what we want our freehold to be, is a tavern.
And By the way, just because we said hi to everybody,
No, we're
I
not
don't
from
know,
England.
Dusty. I don't know, Dusty, if you've already disappeared, but how was your stream? I know I still have you on lurk here somewhere, so I'm gonna go ahead and close that tab out. So I'm gonna double
How was the
watching
Cheetos and milk?
us.
Please do tell.
But yeah, if you're not here, thank you so much for reading in. I know it's a bit late for that. We said hi to your people before you, and I apologize. But yes, thank you for stopping in. Thank you for bringing your friends here. That's really awesome that you would do that. It's always a great feeling when people bring their friends over.
Nuki,
Because you trust us to keep them safe.
Yes.
I like that.
Yes. Taverns are
So
separated
cheers.
from freeholds, right? Or at least on paper. No. So tavern is the type of freehold. So when you get a freehold, you'll be able to turn it into it. Okay.
Real quick, just to add this in, there are 2 different types of taverns. I'm holding up 4 fingers, but it's 2 on each hand, so I mean 2. There are taverns that will be on regular nodes, like in your metropolis and city and village and all. But there's also going to be taverns on freeholds. So there will be both, but yeah, there are 2 different kinds of taverns. And sorry, Chibi, you were saying. I just wanted to make sure to state that out.
That's fine. Tavern is for roleplay. On a freehold, you can get a house and a land. Well, actually, you could sleep at a tavern and still get rested XP, but you don't have to be the owner of the freehold to get that rested XP. That's one of the types of taverns. The second type of tavern is being able to serve, I think, food and have parlor games where you can win gold and have food buffs. So that's the second part of the tavern. Unfortunately, they're separated, like Vertec was just saying. So yeah. Don't forget, there will be guild freeholds. Yes, the barons. Yep. Yeah, that's probably phase 3.
Yeah.
And I don't know when they're gonna add the taverns, but I'm gonna roleplay the shit out of having a tavern. If we get a freehold, I'll be like, come down to the Golden Feather Tavern at this location. We've got potions and we got food.
I am awaiting that portion of whatever phase it's in, which I think you folks might be right. I think it's phase 3. Phase 3 is going to last the longest, so it does make sense, right? Like there's going to be some meat and potatoes added in phase 1 and 2, and then there's going to be all the extra fixins, desserts, and appetizers and whatnot that are placed out in phase 3. But yeah, when the taverns get out there, we are going to be diving in like full tilt, and that's when you're really going to see Chibi and I playing a lot of Ashes on stream. We'll be streaming a lot of Ashes play at that point, doing the tavern manager thing.
Yeah, and all the good stuff is totally in phase 3. Vertec got lucky. He has tank, primary and secondary coming first in phase 3. And he's already got Vuk. I, meanwhile, have to wait. And I'm sorry if I anger anybody, but it's for a selfish reason, and I can understand that ahead of time. But I'm kind of hoping we have a server wipe, so that way I don't feel so bad about having to start over on a pyrite to be a cleric pyrite. But yeah, damn it, I have to roll on an alt and Lena just to come visit the tavern. Yeah, at the moment, who knows what phase 3 will bring though.
And thank you, by the way, keyboard.
Aw, thank you.
That's super sweet. Thank you so much.
Yeah, I thought that was really nice.
Whether you meant it that way or not, that's super awesome. We appreciate that.
Yeah, thank you. My plan is cleric pirate 2. Yes.
Pirate. Yeah, I can't go. Oh,
Friends.
Sorry, what I missed?
Oh, Miss Douglas says my plan is play cleric pirate 2. I was like,
oh,
yes.
yep, that's a chibi. That's a chibi thing. That's a chibi combo.
Yeah. Wonder if they're gonna
Probably
add more servers
pirate,
in
cleric,
phase 3.
cleric. That's what I predict.
I don't know, Mr. Bonerges. Telling our summoner for the win.
Yeah.
Yes. Love the wood elfie aesthetic. Oh,
there's
I'm so
definitely going to be
excited.
more. So I could go into the nerd math on this if you want, Bonerges. We were just talking, and please tell me how to actually pronounce that, because I'm taking an absolute guess. I'm just throwing out random pronunciations
I remember
every
we
single
were
time.
told one time, but I forgot how. I feel like
I think I
the
called
one
it
that's
out. Like, is
named
it
after a
pronounced like
city?
this? And
Bonerges.
Okay.
Bonerges.
So it's almost like the whole Beetlejuice thing, but it's spelled like Betel Guys. So just pronounce the G as a J. Monergies. Okay.
Man, I can't wait for the node style to reflect the race. Yeah, same, Mr. Noobtastic.
But
Friendcat, yeah, so many cool things coming still.
But yeah, where was that? There was something I was saying before let's see.
Same servers in phase 3.
Oh yeah. Monergies, I could totally get into the nerd status mathematics on it all, but they absolutely have to add more servers. And the reason why is because they're adding so many more people in phase 3, it's going to be redonkulous. And then they're probably, and this is me absolutely predicting this, there is zero evidence or like statements that I'm basing this upon, but throughout the alpha 3 phase, they're probably going to phase in some of the earlier supporters for betas. Because the alphas are going to last all the way up until the betas, and the betas are only supposed to be polished stages, right? And they're supposed to, based on previous statements by Steven, it's probably going to be 2 or 3 months for the betas. Maybe 4 months. They could probably stretch it out to last for the betas before it's launched right into the game at that point. So it's basically enough time to do polish every week. Polish, lots of polish. So if alpha 2 phase 3 is going to last that long, they're going to be pulling in extra peoples. But either way, even at the beginning, let's say it's 150,000 people. Let's say it's 150,000 people at a cap of 50,000 people registered per server. Sure, they could keep 3 servers, but I think there was more than that were actually brought in, to be honest. I see them needing more.
But also, I could see, they're adding so much cool things that even if they kept the same servers, there'd be a lot more space to spread out into, especially by the end of phase 2. I know they intend on wanting to have the tropics added in as well. And so we'll have in theory, mostly or fully rendered out desert, and I have no idea how far fully out the tropics are going to be. But then they have a couple more, I forgot how many. Do you remember the number of different biomes they're going to have? Like, is it 8 or 10?
It was like 18, I think, 17 or 18.
Oh, God. I thought it was 8. Okay. But they have a lot more biomes to pull out, and bring up. More. So yeah, they have a lot of work ahead of them, but this is why, people are asking, is it worth getting alpha 2? I'm like, if you can afford it and you really want to help test, I think yes, because they have a lot of time ahead of them.
That's the biggest question. If you want to help test.
Yeah. Wait, real quick. Welcome Imagisto. Imagisto says, how long for beta 1 to 2?
Well, I know they said that, and this is me paraphrasing. I will need to look this up, but Steven said the betas would be measured in weeks, not months. So that being said, any longer than 2 months for either beta phase would probably not be able to fall into that definition, right? Because once you start talking like 3 months, you may as well say, like, now it's months. If it's anything less than 3 months, you're talking weeks. It's 8 weeks, 9 weeks, 10 weeks, 12 weeks. Okay, we've hit 12 weeks. We're talking months now. That's an entire quarter. We're talking a quarter of a year would be easier measured in quarters rather than months. But we'll call it months because that's the maximum time frame for a quarter. So if we're talking maximum time frame to talk about weeks, it's just before the quarter hits. So
yeah, but Paranaut, the idea is, because Paranaut says people complain about moving from the desert to Riverlands, imagine being 10 nodes away. I imagine as soon as the desert gets built out in completion and all of the nodes are there, there's not going to be much need to go from desert to Riverlands, except for if you're trying to maybe make money or like sell stuff in a different region that doesn't have the same stuff, or get stuff in a different region that doesn't have the same stuff as your region. Mm-hmm. And you'll see them kind of like siloed to these areas a little bit more, in my mind.
Yeah. And
So-
Kenko, really quick, just to give a quick response on that. He may have said 3 to 6 months at some point, especially if it was in the past 3 months, and Chibi and I could have been absolutely too busy with that moving thing and the cataloging everything that got destroyed in the flood. So we may have missed something, so don't get me wrong. That's why I wanted to
there's a couple
clarify
of
based on...
months that we missed, absolutely.
Yeah. Based on old statements. I wanted to clarify that. Like my assumption and my calculations and thoughts on it are based on old statements. He may have cleared that up a little bit more recently.
Yeah.
Because we haven't watched like any of his full live stream stuff. And that, I know that's a bad thing to say. And it sounds terrible for us to not be watching his live streams, but we just haven't had the opportunity. Either we were actually playing the game and testing the game and testing features with our guild actively at that moment, and we weren't just like, hey, let's go doodle around and do stuff. We were actively testing something at that moment, or we were not at the game at all and we were working, so we haven't had a chance to.
Streaming, because I think Steven was streaming during our stream at one point too.
Yeah, absolutely. He's been streaming during our podcast before, so you know that happens too.
Yeah, they haven't said anything new about the Underrealm for ages. Still not going until late phase 3, but best as of now. Yeah, exactly. I'm really excited for try Rogue soon, since it's once it's live in phase 2. Yeah, and they said early February for that, if anybody missed that. So Rogue early February, at least to PTR and stuff like that to test. And then also so Guggen says really it's for like it referring to the alpha is for experienced people, isn't it? Because I'm 32. I would not say it has to be just for experienced people. I would say the people that are new to testing or like MMOs in general, if you are coming into it, just try to come in knowing that this is definitely a work in progress. It's not like our typical about to be released type of alpha branding that a lot of other companies do, which Steven has also explained that a lot of times as well. But as long as you come in to that knowing like this is all a work in progress, this is like watching your artist friend literally drawing in front of you, and remembering that, you know, like this isn't done yet. Trust the process. You can give critiques, you can give advice, so you can give your thoughts, but don't walk away mad that it's like looking like a stick figure with a kind of squiggly sunset, because that's not the final product yet, you know?
Yeah, and that's the biggest thing about testing, right? It's more of a mind frame that you have to be in. Like you have to have a certain frame of mind, and you have to have a certain point of view on what you're looking at and how you're approaching your experience. And I'm calling it an experience instead of a testing or playing, because it should be a little bit of both. But your experience, you have to have a certain frame of mind, and that's more important than experience, because you have to know that you're supposed to be experiencing the game as a game, but you're also supposed to be poking at things and reporting things and taking notes as if you're testing something. Yeah. So, and every now and again, yeah, you need to say, hey, this kind of pushed, this kind of gave a little bit when I pressed against it. That's not a real brick. Let me go ahead and poke at this brick and see what I can do to make this brick break. And maybe the house will fall down. So you have to every once in a while poke at the brick and see if you can make the foundation crumble and the house collapses. But for the most part, you just need to walk through the house and live there.
Almost a year, yes. Cheers.
Oh my goodness, Emily. Cheers to you and thank you.
Thank you so much, friend. Welcome in. And we have another question from the audience, if that's okay. So Still Yasuo says, hello guys, I saw a couple of videos, but I have 2 questions. Question number 1, how good are the archetype combinations? We don't know what the archetype combinations are like yet, because that's coming in phase 3, just as a heads up. But unless you're asking about like PvP and things like that, I personally feel like we have Bard and Mage as some of the stronger archetype options for PvP. But in terms of combos of primary and secondary, we don't know that yet. Question number 2, what level can you combine the archetypes? 25. We don't have access to it yet, but the beginning level for being able to start doing a primary and secondary is level 25, which is why I was thinking when they start adding the secondary archetypes, that's when we're going to see the max level go to like level 30. So you get a couple of levels of having the secondary archetype, if not beyond that. I would like to see level 30. But what does that look like without a secondary archetype? I don't know.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. I like that it's halfway to max level at launch, at least, where they introduce secondary archetypes. So you have half your time spent. Well, I mean, let's be honest, it's probably a quarter of your time spent with your main archetype, and then your secondary archetype is spent being fleshed out for the last like 75% of your leveling experience, or who knows, 80%, whatever. For the majority, you're fleshing out how it really feels, and how you can combine the augments and change them up, because there's 4 different schools of augment from every single primary archetype.
Yeah.
And for every skill that you have in your primary archetype, you can choose one of the 4 schools of augmentation from the secondary archetype. So you have, let's say, 12 skills, let's say 15 skills to choose from. Which one are you augmenting with which of the 4 schools of augmentation from the other archetype? So it's gonna be a lot of testing and playing around you can do to try to figure out your ideal.
Yeah, I was also letting you know that there's an ad at the moment. I'm sorry.
Oh,
not to keep nerfing in every patch. Bards are yeah. Interesting to then see what religion skill lines look like based on your choice. Yes, 100%.
Actually, you know what? If there's an ad right now, it might be a good time for me to restart my audio app again. I'll be right back.
I'm just going to entertain people. So we still have the creative concept and the talk in third person ×2. So just as an FYI, we have those to do, and we're going to, starting from tonight, be queuing up the next ones to do for next time we do a bunch of spins. So if you like this kind of stuff with us doing the spins and everything, let me know. We want it to be kind of fun and like getting to know us and having fun with us, but also chatting Ashes in a very chill way. And we also dual stream over on YouTube, just FYI. Old Man Seraph, we don't have a server command, but we are on Linux if you are curious.
All right, I'm back. You know what? That's probably something I could add, though.
Yeah, I don't see why not. I mean, it shouldn't change for the next couple of months, so whenever we do have a new server, we could always make sure we update that. But I want to go back real quick because NetReader, made a good point earlier, and that is that new players are great for testing because they can find bugs that the veteran gamers don't do. Things that like they do things that aren't expected, right? So as somebody who's played MMOs for forever, I already know, oh, okay, I do this, that, and the other, and that's how I heal, and this is like where my mana is, and this is where that is. Meanwhile, I mean, seeing Ayaz through like a brand new person and understanding how they view things versus how you view things, there's stuff that I overlook because it's understood. There's stuff that they're looking at, they're like, how the F do you even know to do that? And I'm like,
and that's exactly why I say it's about the frame of mind, right? When it comes to testing, is you could be an experienced person that blazes directly past some of the more basic things, like exactly like you were saying, Chibi. You could be an experienced player that blasts right through things that like an experienced player is like, yeah, I already know that. Next, pew. But somebody else is like, how the heck do you do this thing? Because it seems like the game wants you to do this, but you actually have to do it that way. And a veteran's going to be like, yeah, I mean, that's because it's like your typical approach. I mean, they didn't describe it that way. So, well, it's because you skipped an intro quest. That's why. You skipped the intro dialogue. But the intro dialogue says something else. And that's something only somebody who's new, but also knows what testing is, would, be able to bring forward.
Yeah. Also, my favorite thing, this stems from being a dungeon master in D&D and other TTRPGs. I love having new players at the table. I love seeing things from their perspective and asking them questions like, how does this feel to you? How does that feel to you? What are your thoughts on this? Because that's such a fresh viewpoint that it gets me excited. I love talking about it, honestly. Like, you ever want to get me chatting a lot, tell me about your newest experience with X, Y, and Z, and I'm all ears, honestly. How do you get your Mount Ashes? Yeah, a lot of people ask that, and I'm actually surprised. And there's actually a beginning quest that you do that not only unlocks the ability to go and do all of the artisan stuff, but also gives you your first horse. Otherwise, you have to go and buy a horse from the marketplace. And I feel like a lot of people don't know that. I kind of want to do like like a beginner's guide to alpha or to like Ashes testing, so that I can kind of be able to help maybe guide some people through like the beginning phases, things that I've noticed that I found easier. And then of course add Vertex's little sneaky trick of getting, for whatever reason, your green medallion to be blue. Still haven't figured out why that is, but yeah, always good. Can't wait for the servers to come up. Yeah,
everybody misses that. Everybody misses that.
They do. And honestly, I think not many people realize that those are voice acted already, and that's already in the game. Like, now that maybe it was done by an AI, I don't know, but it was decently good voice acting if it was done by an AI. The thing that annoyed me that's in game, not sure if it's actually a bug, I haven't reported yet, is the quest items don't go in the quest inventory. Yes. Honestly, I think I need to go and report that, because I have that same frustration when you go to do Church of the Seven and you get all of that stuff in your inventory. There's a little tab in your inventory that says quest. It should go in there, and it doesn't. And I'm like, there's a box for you. Please.
Yeah. Hopefully nobody else going forward needs to experience that issue. The issue of the Church of the Seven quest.
Yeah.
Being that you'll sit there for 4 hours trying to complete one quest, and you'll end up having to delete half of your inventory 3 times in that hour.
Yeah.
Because
we just made a rule. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, no, go ahead.
We made a rule for our group. Keep no more than 3 of anything. If you have more than 3, get it out of your inventory.
Well, yeah, no more than 4 with that quest, because there was
4, right?
It was not clear what counted towards which objective, but all the objectives had 4 that you had to collect. And some of the 4 were one of each of 4 different items, and some were 4 of one specific item. But the last time I went through with the Bard, was my second alt character. And the Bard, we went in there and I wrapped up the quest in like an hour. It was just in, out, done. Like, perfect. It was super fast and super easy and super smooth to do. Granted, somewhere in the middle would be great. Instead of spending 4 to 5 hours doing it, but not being done within the hour. Like, it wasn't even a full hour. It was just done within the hour. I happened to look down and I'm like, yeah, we came in here an hour ago, but I've already completed this quest a while back.
That's awesome.
But balancing somewhere in the middle, because of how much experience it gives you, it should take a little bit of time. So even like 2 or 3 hours should be fine. But
and still,
either way, it seemed to be fixed.
A related question asking, can you level to 25 solo right now? By the way, I don't mind grinding, but on a scale of 1 to 10, how hard is it? I heard they will change it to be more beginner friendly in phase 3. I don't know if it's going to be in phase 3, but I know that that's something that they're working on already. They do, like Steven did mention, he is, you know, aware that the solo friendliness of the alpha is not very friendly at the moment, and that's something that they would like to try to work on, but they still want you to focus on like some of the better stuff, being in groups and things like that. And I forgot how to say this. Is it Boner G's said he solo leveled to 20 already, and we are currently in Lineth, but we're kind of all over the nodes. It depends on what we're doing that day.
Yeah, so solo.
Yeah.
Whew. It is possible. It depends on how much time you want to spend and what class or not the class, but archetype you're looking to play as a primary. And if you have many friends already, or if you're very good at making friends. The solo experience is very much a do it in your spare time when there's nobody else to play with. It's nowhere near the min-max. So, I mean, min-maxers are going to be in groups at all the time. Like every single time that they jump on, they're going to be in a group no matter what. Because solo play is very, very, very slow. They did say they're going to make it more user friendly to solo, but I think, and this is absolute interpretation, not a statement made by Steven or any of the other devs, but my interpretation of it, based on everything that we have, please feel free to correct me if I'm wrong on the wiki, AshesofCreation.wiki.
Yeah.
Great resource.
Oh, hold on. I think we have a command for that. There we go.
There we go. But they are intending the solo gameplay to be things that players can do when other friends and other contacts are not online. It's not really meant to be a core gameplay style that's going to get you from level 1 to max level, or there's not really a pathway for it. Like a golden path, so to say, going from level 1 to level 50, a solo on purpose. So much as they seem to be, again, my interpretation, creating some things that players can do while solo, in case friends aren't online, and that's about it.
And Mr. Newtastic says soloing will get better once the quests are actually working and they give decent rewards. Because right now there's like some of them that aren't even working correctly. There's some of them that like you can't even turn in, or like once you get the items, it's little all over the place. My goal is to try and take some time and try just questing and seeing how the questing is feeling, and giving my feedback on that, because that's what matters to me more than grinding. Right now, I'm not super into the grindingness of alpha, but again, it's testing. I'm aware of that. It's not my ideal way to level, but it's a way to level to get up to the area to do the things that I also want to do, like helping people with their caravans and things like that. So,
Ooh. And Eric Kennel, yes. If they added more experience for crafting, I would approve of that. But that being said, I think that they should add more experience for crafting, just in general. Like you should be able to climb through the ranks of your crafting and artisan classes a little bit quicker than you do currently. Yeah. But that being said, there's an exact opposite opinion. Sorry to cut you off, GB, just to finish this off. There are some crafter friends I have that are looking to focus strictly on crafting and their artisan professions, that want it to be very slow, and you need to be dedicated to it in order to succeed. Specifically because if they want to focus as that on their main gameplay loop, they want it to be challenging for everybody and anybody to actually compete in that. Like participating and putting out some things is one approach and one path, but to actually compete in crafting and processing, they want people to really work for that. And
Sinflow, and I also want to say Benric, welcome in officially to the tavern. Cheers. Sinflow says I haven't even touched questing because I heard it was a little jank. And yeah, that's one of those things, like as often as I can, whenever I come across even like a mayoral commission board that's not letting me turn in something or not letting me complete it, I try to report that. Which, by the way, in case you were doing it previously where you were like finishing your quest from your quest journal, for the mayoral commission specifically, I think they adjusted that to you have to go back to the mayoral board to turn them in now. And that's what I thought Vertec, that keyboard, was asking about, was like for like just roaming around and gaining XP for exploring. But yeah, I'm not sure.
Yeah, there's currently 0 experience for the actual exploration factor, like unlocking sections of a map by journeying to that area.
I mean, if you want to think about events as a type of XP reward for exploring, where you go to a new area and you see that there's an event there and then you do the event, I guess that could be considered under that.
Yeah, so that's where it gets a little bit different. Yeah, that's where it gets a little bit different. Is like everything involved with the exploration, like finding a new area to adventure around in, could mean that you end up focusing in that area and nobody else is there. So you get a giant boost in experience because nobody else is there.
Yeah. And
I know you're welcoming in somebody. Hello there. Oh, okay. So first, Geigen, I really need you to because I've seen you in here a couple times. So if you could give us a phonetic on how to pronounce that, just to make sure we're doing that correctly.
I was just gonna guess it was Uzonico.
But well, Geigen or Guggen also, because I couldn't tell what origin it was, so I don't know what kind of language phonetics to apply to it. So if you could spell it out like phonetically, that'd be great. But also, yes, the new friend Ayuzonico from Argentina. Okay. Just Nico. Okay, Nico.
All right, I'll call you Nico then.
Just want to make sure I'm getting it at least somewhat right.
Okay, cool, awesome. I remember once I even dropped the level 30 bears on people for exploiting Titan Ring. Oh man, yeah. Splash on a long cooldown now. Yeah. And also, Eric asked anything new coming Thursday. I don't see anything in the PTR notes. I haven't seen anything new there. Maybe that might change tomorrow. We'll see. But as of right now, no news. No news on the PTR front. So if you're only doing one thing to do for doing that thing tapers off. Wait. So if you're only doing one thing, doing that thing before that thing tapers off, I think, to encourage playing all aspects of the game. Yeah, we're from America.
Yeah, we're in.
Oh, I don't speak Spanish. Me habla español muy poquito, un poquito. I only know how to say a few things, but I would like to learn Spanish. Oh, okay. I thought you were talking about us. I didn't know who you were talking to.
That's how I took it when I read it. But when Chibi reread it, it made me double think. I'm like, wait a minute. Maybe I shouldn't agree to that real quick. Because I speak so small, yeah. so few words in Spanish. It would be a disaster.
That's really cool. Man, I love hearing where everybody came from. One day I would like to get out of the US and explore the world, but that day is not yet. Person from Argentina speaks Spanish and English. Yeah, I understood that. I mean, I better do. But yeah. Sorry if you're only doing if you're only doing one thing XP for that act tapers off.
Yeah. If you're only doing one thing for XP, yeah, it's gonna taper off fairly quickly.
I mean, we hung out in South Civilian for like ages. But the big difference, I think, between doing solo grinding and being like in a group is I don't know the difference in gear dropping, you know?
Hey, to be fair, Kenko, by the way, I'm a native English speaker, grown up in the United States, and there's some days, perfectly sober, perfectly awake, perfectly aware, and I don't speak English very well sometimes. It happens.
Yeah.
English is a tough one.
All right, chat. I have a creative concept for you. I've been thinking about it. Again, creative concepts are like bad D&D character design / wrong answers only. Okay. So, what happens if you cross a summoner with a cleric? Curious to see what your creative answers are. I have one in mind, but curious to see what your answers are.
Summoner with cleric. Okay.
Yes, I met Vertec in the Discord. Yeah, bad answers only.
Correct, Noobtastic, yes.
I met Vertec in the Discord for AshesofCreation the day after Kickstarter, the original Kickstarter ended, and that's the first time I spoke to him. And now we're together. Now we're a partnership. You summon NPCs who worship you. I like that. A necromancer. I mean, necromancer, it depends on your definition of bad. Summoner and cleric, crazy cat lady. Ooh, I like that one. I like that one. Healer summons leashes as their means of healing. Ooh, Mr. Noobtastic. That sounds terrifying, actually. Can you imagine a horde of leashes? You just like add a leash to somebody. This is how you get healed. Yay! I won. Wouldn't they summon
Heckin'
spirits?
yeah.
They could summon spirits. Yeah, yeah. Like Queen of the Damned, but the damned are like ghosts. Humanoids, including goblins, are nearly only NPC type that drop actual gear. Oh, okay, that was to somebody. Yeah, yeah. The Pope. Oh no, rigged. You summon the pixels and healers. You summon the pixie healers. Yes, like in Final Fantasy 14. Yes, 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 yes. Like the scholar. I don't know. I was gonna call it a scholar mancer, but yeah, scholar. Someone's animated sandals to smack people. I like that. Wouldn't they summon spirits, angels? Yep, possibly. Yeah, I could see that.
You know, so I'm gonna say that summoner cleric. So they would summon angelic looking creatures, but of course because they're summoned and they're not like you're not like praying for, because it's not connected to like the holy type archetype as a base. It's going to have some kind of a twist to it. So it's going to summon angelic looking creatures that are then going to attack people and pull them down into the ground, and or set them on fire, etc. Maybe they're going to twist them. It's almost a demonic approach.
Interesting. Okay, I could see
That's
that.
what I'm going to say.
Right.
It's going to be a facade. It's going to be a facade.
Okay. This is close. This is oddly close to the homebrew D&D character I want to make. That's nice. That's awesome. Summon a creature you can't control. Ooh, I like that one yet. What about skeletons? I see that online maps, they start level 6 skeleton knights drop gear set. They might drop light gear. So yeah, I don't know. Oh man. Let's see. Sorry. Might have a change of plans on Saturday, real quick, just as a FYI.
Yeah.
So
Looks that
my
way.
thought process for cleric summoner, because summoner can range from being more tanky to more healy, is you just summon a bunch of creatures like Squirrel Girl from Marvel Rivals that goes out and just like attacks people. But as they attack people, you're just
my
like
friends are here.
like, yeah, my friends are here. And just like a barrage of like creatures go out and like attack the enemy, like a swarm of bats or something. But yeah, that's I have no idea how it's gonna work, but I could imagine it like if all of those creatures also deal like holy damage, so you have a horde of holy damage dealing creatures. Kinko says you summon caravans.
Okay. No, see, I think that should be a tank. That should be a summoner tank. Summon caravans to just trample over people and keep running. Give them nightmares about caravans for weeks. Maybe they'll stop harassing yours.
And I'm gonna verbally answer this, but Keyboard Oracle asks, what would be the difference between summoner cleric and cleric summoner? So the difference being cleric primary means that you're already a healer role, but you're augmenting it with the summoner class. So you're gonna be a healer. Summoner primary is going to be a support role, and you're augmenting it with cleric, which means that you may be able to do some self-sustain, but you're still primarily going to be a support role, kind of like Bard. So Bard can heal, but if you notice, it can't heal as well as Cleric can. I will BRB because I drank my entire tankard of
Is it broken
already?
Mine's broken too. Could you fix mine?
Yeah, I can. Oh, you need that fixed too? Okay, hold up.
My tankard has a hole in it. It's empty.
I meant the actual tankard, but I'll come get your chalice.
But yeah, the question about do I use tank wall on caravans? 99% of the time, yes. Depends on what the focus is of that moment, because it very well could be that we're just slaying the driver, and then it doesn't matter if you wall the caravans whatsoever. It could also be that we're attacking 20 caravans that are in a line, just traveling across the map. And the main goal when we're starting from the back forward is just slaying people and taking out defenders. As we move up, or the goal could be that we drive through the whole caravan and all the defenders get to the front, start placing walls, slow them down. And after we get to the front and do that, then we start slaying people's. Griefing, no. That's one thing I won't take part in, is griefing. It's one thing to participate in a PvP system and flag up on events and whatnot, but it's a whole other thing to actually grief people. That I absolutely will not do. I will stand far against that. There's actually a guild, I will leave nameless at this moment, who was on our server that I had much respect for, and they started to do some kind of things that feel very griefy and very negative, toxic, one might say, and I've lost quite a bit of respect for them. But again, I'll leave them nameless. But yeah, griefing I won't do. I would probably quit Nexus the moment that I found out that griefing was supported in any real way. Now, I say real way because the term griefing is very subjective. Some people, because griefing, like if you define griefing, it probably has something to do with repeatedly taking actions against somebody that they find to be harassing. Now, someone could say that PvP in any fashion, shape, or form is considered harassment. And so therefore, if you try to engage with them in a PvP manner and they say, leave me alone, then now you're harassing them, which means you're griefing them. And that's just simply not true, because the game is, to my mixed emotions, really a PvP core game. They say it's PvX, but that's, I feel it's only, there's some PvE things in there, kind of because you can't, it's almost impossible to have a game without PvE existing. Because it's impossible to predict that there's always going to be PvP activities taking place unless your game is strictly PvP in the fashion of like an FPS or a battle royale. Thank you. Yeah, exactly. Like Nico said, it's always the case with the PvP centered game. But yeah, if you were to consider griefing any point of taking part in PvP combat, then yes, I grief all the time. Normally not on my own, just because I don't like to solo single person hassle somebody who's out like gathering trees or something.
Be careful with your words, sir.
What's that?
Be careful with your words, sir, that they don't get clipped out of context.
Oh yeah.
I just see a clip of Vertex somewhere. I grief all the time.
Yeah, well, yeah, exactly. Right? If you take it out of context, I'm gonna cry. Don't make me cry. You wouldn't like it when I cry. I ugly cry. But
oh my gosh.
Clipped.
Dude.
Now I'm gonna be extorted. It's gonna be crazy. But yeah, like I don't think there's a lot of actual true griefing going on in the game as a whole, by the way. Just as a random side comment. Like, I know a lot of people, and I'm only saying this because it popped into mind that there might be a lot of people worried about griefing being a gigantic plague going through Ashes, because there are people that cry about it. And I only say cry, and well, I mean, maybe cry isn't the right word. There are some people who legitimately are crying, like they feel very incredibly hurt by it, and they're freaking out, and it might be traumatic to them. But there are some people complaining about it, and providing feedback on it is probably the more correct word on Reddit and whatnot. Yeah. I don't think it's as rampant as a lot of people were expecting it was going to be. Like, just put it out
Also,
there.
So with the server is looking to support 10k plus concurrent players, do you think ASC will be able to break record for the largest online battle of 25 players set by Eve Online? I could see it. I don't know if they're going to be able to, like, right now, but I could see it potentially happening. One thing in it's one person griefing, but usually it's a group of griefers zerging. Yeah, that's when it's very unfun.
Yeah, really quick, just to add something to that Eve Online thing. Eve Online.
Hi, Hoopo.
Starts to refer to by throwing cookie crumbs on his bed. Oh my gosh, I would start crying. I mean, that's an absolute accurate term for that. I would start crying everywhere about that one. I would cry about that griefing on every social media platform I could possibly find. I would go full tilt Karen on that. Cookie crumbs in my bed. But yeah, to touch on the EVE Online thing, I don't think that Ashes is going to be doing anything as revolutionary as being able to make a real-time PvX combat game be able to support 8,000 people. EVE Online does the whole time dilation thing that's absolutely bananas. Excuse me. And might work for that type of game. It's not going to work for Ashes type of game. Like, time dilation would be a crime against humanity in Ashes. Can you imagine if you tried to siege a node and instead of having like a 4-hour battle, it takes 12 or 25 hours strictly because you have to select what move you want to make?
Yeah.
And like a couple minutes later, it actually takes that action.
But we're not even talking about like 8,000 people versus 8,000 people. We're talking collectively 8,000 players in an area to do an online battle in general. And
yeah.
And to be fair, yes, right now the plan is 500 v 500, and that's absolutely fair. But the other side of that is players are gonna do what players want to do. Okay. If Vertec and I start a caravan and some other guild who's kind of zergy rolls up, and then we ask people to come help support us, next thing you know, half the server is coming to support us, the other half of the server is coming to attack us. Congratulations, you've come across about 8,000 people fighting against each other in one area. That is nothing to do with any actual system. That's just people fighting in an area because they feel like it. Forced phase 2 launch, they took us to the desert and 40v40 was still intense. Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, eventually it'll be 500v500, and I mean, even the node wars have been kind of crazy and intense. But I'm curious to see how 500v500 is gonna work, especially with the current fall off of the visual distance that they currently have.
Yeah, I think that's going to be the biggest thing, right? Is making sure that they have robust enough servers to be able to really handle that. And this is me playing around with ideas just because I haven't been involved in a process like this, so I don't know how viable it is. But if they could have a service out there that was doing all the calculations for the servers and server workers required for any specific zone area, if it could accurately and quickly predict and run the calculations for like one server worker of this needs to be split into 4 because there's a giant massing of people that are moving towards it. And as soon as they start crossing the borders, the server workers have already started to spin up. But they notice how many people are flocking over, so they start to increase the power of those machines to the point where the pop-in rate that Chibi was talking about in a roundabout way, where you could be 30 yards away from somebody and you don't see anything, and then you get closer and you're 20 yards away and suddenly they just pop into existence. In the testing, like what Bonergies was saying, there's a thing where you could see the mount running around and doing things, just hopping around. But then when you get close enough, the rider pops into view, like the player character pops into view. So you can see NPCs from farther away than you can see player characters. But if both count of servers plus the power of those server workers could be escalated and ramped up at need, that would be amazing, because that I think is what's going to really be needed for those truly large scale battles where it's 500 v 500, or
Yeah.
I think 250 v 250 was the original goal, and they boosted that up because they saw success early on, more success than they thought they were going to early on.
I heard that the dynamic was in. I don't know. The view distance has been steadily improving so far. Yeah, that's good at least.
Yeah, I think the way it's working is the server meshing is in. So I mean, that's why you'll see server worker change to server worker, and you won't like crash out, and it'll be relatively seamless. It'll be seamless in the fact that you don't see a loading screen, but you might hit like a hiccup, and then you continue on.
And
so it's relatively seamless.
That's my theory currently, and a lot of the bugs that we're seeing with the caravans, with the inventories, with the random crashing, is your data going from server 1 meshing over to server 2, and then there's an issue with that mesh that either causes you to automatically get teleported to Carfin, makes you crash altogether, makes you have weird inventory issues where you have to constantly get on and off your mount to try to fix whatever problem that is, or just log out and log back in and maybe not leave that server for a period of time if you're trying to move stuff. And I think all of that is coming down to changing the server, going from server boundary 1 to 2, and kind of understanding how, even noticing the different nodes and the buffs they have. If you go from New Ayla to Miraleth, you're getting all these buffs to the point that you have a stack of buffs that are from New Ayla all the way over, and you can't see any other buffs that you're getting. So if I was trying to give Vertec Bless weapon, you wouldn't be able to see that. And I think that between those two things, it's causing some sort of problem. Something is not syncing right, and I think that that's where some of the issue comes in with the server meshing. But I think that they are probably aware of that, and they're trying to figure out how to fix that.
Yeah, and that's I mean, to kind of combine a few things that have been said while you were talking there. Yeah, it's what Kenko and Bonergies and Fupo have said. Like the gridding is in, the grid exists, and things are working together as server workers, but they're not at the point where they're adding the extra servers on a whim. Like when people start to gather, it's not adding those extra little mini servers that are temporary servers, I should say, not really mini servers, because they're probably going to be the same speed and strength. I would imagine, if anything, but, and this is total guesswork, but maybe they're calculated to be a little bit less than full strength of a full server worker, because you're dividing one server worker into 4 just to manage the amount of work that one server worker needs to do. It won't need to be like 4 times as strong as one server worker, but you definitely don't want it to be 1/4 of the strength of a normal server worker, because then why did you make 4 out of 1?
Yeah.
But you know, we'll see.
Dynamic should be in phase 3. Got it. Yeah, they definitely did. They had their whole dev stream on it, and we watched that. We watch every dev stream, and we cover every dev stream. So they definitely did like sit there and break it down.
Mr. Noobtastic goes, "That's right, Boner. There are no bugs in my alpha, only surprise mechanics." Exactly.
That's why I did the snack keck to that, because he says it's not a bug, it's a game feature. I'm like, I'd say we do something a little bit fun, because we're at the 2-hour mark.
Do something fun. Who does that? That's crazy talk.
By fun, I mean we have one roll left that we've been putting off.
Bom, bom, bom.
That's talking in third person.
Oh my gosh.
5 minutes. So the way this works is we're going to time each other. And whenever one of us messes up in chat, you're devil's advocate. You can do whatever you want. You can call us out on our BS, or let the other person maybe not realize that person accidentally came out of third person. Up to you. Or you can try and make us lose our third person challenge, which people have definitely done to Vertec previously.
Yeah, if you guys want to pick on Chibi this time around, Vertec will not complain. Just saying.
All right, starting our timer. We're gonna go for 5 minutes. So starting our timers. Ready?
I am ready.
3, 2, 1, start. Bob Dole is not happy. Bob Dole talks the way he was taught to talk.
Yeah, Vertec usually does not do too well with these, and the viewers love to pick on Vertec.
Meanwhile, Chibi loves this because Chibi thinks it makes people think about what they're saying first before they say it. But also, Chibi just likes the chaos, to be honest.
Protected.
Who?
Did you just say that other person is ready? Did one person say that other person is ready? It's a very, very slick attempt there. Very slick attempt.
Yes.
I've grown wise over the many occurrences of me having to.
Oh.
Vertic takes back everything he just said in the past 2 sentences. Everything, including being wise and smart and gaining knowledge.
Phoebe was just
restart
about
Vertex
to say,
timer.
Chat has been trying to do that to Vertec and Chibi for a while, and Chibi didn't think that Vertec would fall for it this time, but Vertec did. He did.
Vertec fell for it at least this one time. Vertec does not wish to say that Vertec may fail again in the future because Vertec does not wish to speak that into existence.
Keyboard thinks this hurts his brain. Chibi thinks it's a fun exercise. And Chibi also wants you guys to suggest other fun challenges that Chibi and Vertec can do for spins. And Chibi's hoping that Chibi's timer goes off here soon, as Vertec is officially at 4 minutes now.
Chibi's timer has about 2 minutes and 36 seconds.
Aw, man.
Chibi has some time still.
Chibi does. Yeah. Chibi has been drinking her wine and also smiling a lot because you guys are here. By the way, still also heard there are issues with stuttering performance in this patch. How often do they do new patches? Pretty often. From what Chibi recalls, Intrepid does them at least 2 times a week. Aw, Kinko. Chibi's just gonna hide behind this.
She do though.
But like Bonergy says, they hotfix it a lot, so yeah.
Yeah, they update.
Chibi's not a murder hobo.
relatively often. And by relatively I mean they I felt that one about a split second before saying it. I felt that one coming into existence. I felt it.
Chibi thinks that if Vertec messes up one more time, Vertec's penance is another double shot.
Oh my goodness, trying to kill me. Trying to kill me. Okay, restart. I'm gonna do this to get it out of the way. Restart my timer so that I may begin again. And therefore I have used all of my first party speaking, and now Vertec will go back into third party talking, I hope. Okay, so start me again. Vertec will speak in third party for the rest of his life.
Mr. Newtastic suggests double shot to cut off Vertec's time in half. 1 shot equals reduced by 1 minute.
Vertec means yeah. Vertec would be okay with this. Vertec would take 5 shots to reduce his time by 5 minutes.
Shots, but not a double shot. Face Twist Vertex gonna end up in the ER. Chibi wouldn't let that happen. Also, Chibi did not kill you. Chibi didn't do that.
That's the sound of Chibi finishing her time.
Ooh, yay! And welcome in, Takyo. Thank you for the follow. Welcome to our chaotic Tuesday, where we're just kind of hanging out and chit-chatting and doing subscriber spins. And this is what was on tap for today. We played 2 rounds of Incoherent, did a fireball with our flask of fireball, and had a Q&A, some PvP shots where we both rolled a d20 and tried to see which one could do it. Vertec tried to cheat.
Vertec rolled a 21 and was told that no, that was not accurate.
Vertec
for some reason.
That he Vertec wrote out that he rolled a 21, but he didn't.
Vertec rolled a 21, okay.
We punished him with like a double shot for that one. And then we tried to come up with some creative concepts on what it would be like think of like wrong answers only, or like bad D&D character concepts. So cleric x summoner, what that would look like. And then now I'm done, but Vertec is still trying to talk in third person. And if he loses this route, I might just punish him with a double shot again. But thank you. These are Slate.
Oh, gosh.
Fun fact. I am totally talking a storm because I feel bad for Vertec. This is a pity round. These are Slate charcuterie boards. And you can make them as like writing boards. So that's what I'm doing. And these are our list of people that have been super awesome. And I'm missing a name on here, but this right here was where the count was of how many spins we had to do. So trying to make it all taverny in here. So.
Yes, for those who may have rolled in moments ago, yes, Vertec is terrible at talking in third party. Whew.
Yeah.
Has to concentrate on what he's saying, or else he will mess up.
Must
focus.
Leia
Talk
thinks
on.
Vertec needs more practice at this game.
Talk off. Talk on. Talk off.
Keyboard thinks that this will certainly help with your self-control. That's cute though. That's a good idea. Thank you. I was thinking like I could do normal whiteboards, but why not do a slate whiteboard? Because I mean, if you think of a blackboard and a tavern, I think of like a slate blackboard, but then also I really want to get like a, what are those called again, Vertec? The cork boards, I think, bulletin board things.
Oh yeah, the little cork boards.
Yeah.
Vertec is bad. Vertec is very bad, Sinflow.
Vertec needs to think of himself as playing a D&D character and narrate his own actions, as Leia does when he plays this sort of thing. That's not a bad way of thinking about it. That's a neat little hack on it, just honestly. That blackboard
fair
is
enough.
cafe, blackboard, the specials. Yeah, that's what I was going for. Thank you. Chalkboard paint is definitely more fitting for a tavern. I thought so. We have chalk, but it doesn't show up nicely. It'd be cool if that if they have specific race that gets small buff in the underworld, but it's released and a small debuff in the overworld. Oh, I can see that. Maybe being Tolnar.
Honestly, if they made the Underrealm much more expansive, I think that'd be a neat idea. Like having a race that was more buffed in the overworld than the under, and vice versa. Another one that was more buffed in the underworld than the over.
Yeah.
But we need to be big enough that, you know, the underrealm could be completely 100% the lifespan of a character, if they wish. And it could be realistically that they could do anything they could do on the overground.
That is a Vertec timer, finally.
That's a Vertec timer?
Yes.
Holy mackerel, that was gonna kill me.
Anyone had the bug where they start to swim in the thin air? They go when they go underground. No, I've never had that. Maybe like a vampire race. I could see that. I mean, Tolnar lived in the Underrealm for a long time, so that's why I thought it'd be fitting for Tolnar. And no, Eric, we were not able to get a freehold yet, but maybe, hopefully soon. they will have some way of getting a freehold, whether you sell it or like you have to pay taxes, so people lose theirs, so that we could possibly get a chance.
Yeah, if anyone on Laneth is getting bored of their freehold, by the way, we would love to take it off your hands so we can get prepared for having an actual tavern in Ashes.
But
we'll make the Golden Feather Tavern.
Yes, and we welcome all to the Golden Feather Tavern. I have definitely had the randomly swimming in the air, not in the underground. But also Bonergius is asking, Vertec, is that necklace a zinc necklace that you crafted?
No, this is a very magical necklace. It was actually bestowed upon me, and it was explained to me that this is what they call a sterling silver, but that metal does not exist on Vera.
Nope.
So at this moment, there's no idea how to construct one of these. Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I'm really excited. Also, I have some cool ideas for these. If you ever have any ideas for what you want to see from the tavern, be it content type or fun little things that we could add to our Wheel of Misfortune.
Wheel of Morality, turn. We
do a spin every 10 subscribers, basically. We add like a spin to the roll amount, or the spin amounts. So yeah, yes, they are, Mr. Noobtastic. Mr. Noobtastic says weather conditions are supposedly going to affect skills, so I think the underrealm affecting races fits in the design still. I agree with that. I could totally see that, because if it's snowing, it's supposed to enhance your ice procs. If it's middle of the desert, enhance your fire procs. Maybe. Yeah, that's what I'm hoping for, Eric. Is desert freehold. Maybe. Curious to see how that looks.
Honestly, and you know what's nifty about that? And here's something I actually didn't think about until just now. With the weather conditions apparently having impacts on spell effects and skills and such.
Yeah.
With a mage being a master of elements, in theory, it's only going to impact which spell they cast more often. But with the combinations, they're still probably going to be casting most elements, I would think.
Yeah.
Because ice to fire has one interaction, ice to lightning has another interaction, lightning to fire has an interaction, and so you'd think they're still going to be casting like all the different elements, but it'll just impact which one is stronger at any given point in time with the weather. And I think that's kind of cool.
Yeah. Lightning and a rain puddle. Oh no. I mean, they do have the Titan ring, right? Where like the NPC got himself zapped.
Your sunburn procs in the desert.
Yeah. All right. Well, Vertec, is there anything else that you think we should chit chat about?
I mean, there are so many things, but there are also only so many hours in a day and so many minutes in the time that we have available to chat. So the answer is yes, but also no. Yeah.
Well, I will give our own little spiel. Feel free to check us out. We are on YouTube and we're also in Discord. I meant to type out all of Discord. And if you want to see, like, I think, are we still doing 4K over on YouTube?
No, we are doing 2K.
Okay, if you want to see higher quality, we're over on YouTube on higher quality. Also, if you missed part of the show, you can always go back and watch that over there. And if you want to come chit chat with us between shows, you can join our Discord. It is quiet and cozy, and I try not to annoy people too much with like pings and things like that. But also, if you are a subscriber, there's a whole subscriber area over there, just FYI. And if you aren't a subscriber and you would like to help support us, you could either do that by one, being an amazing viewer who comes and hangs out and chit chats with us all the time, because your conversations help us thrive. And if you want to give us financial support, which goes back into the podcast, helps us get cool things like this and like this and like these, then you could either subscribe here on Twitch, be a member on YouTube, or you can even subscribe through our Discord. And I'm trying to figure out what to do with Patreon. But otherwise, we honestly are super grateful that you guys are here and hanging out with us. Yes, everybody needs a good old fireball flask in their life. I agree on that.
I love these things.
And
glad we picked them up.
SG is the one that got them for us. I thought that was really sweet. But yes, I think though nothing says you guys love and care for us more than you come in to hang out and chit chat with us, in my opinion. But also, it's kind of fun to sprinkle a little bit of chaos into things. Fireball Flask merch win depends on what kind of merch you're wanting and other things. We would like to do merch, but we want to make sure that we're mindful and that it's good quality and that it's worth your money. I don't want to just make a t-shirt with like our logo on it or something and not be worth the money that you're spending.
We're trying to avoid the low-hanging fruit. Like everyone does like the t-shirt thing and a cheap mouse pad thing and they throw out a bunch of like, we just slapped our logo on whatever that Stream Elements said that was available for us to slap a logo on. We're trying to find actual like meaningful merch. We'll probably set up an actual shop instead of just like, again, telling Steam Elements to just open something up. We might do some stuff like that, but we don't want that to be the core of everything. We want
the
there
rock
to be
and roll
like
t-shirt from the van.
yeah. We actually want there to be some quality options. But then if you just want a t-shirt with the logo, sure, absolutely. There's the standard t-shirt with the logo option. Like nothing wrong with that. But we don't want that to be our only little offering. So we're kind of being picky and choosing out some things.
And I want one of these with the Tavern logo here, the feather that you see in our emotes, but maybe this year, because there's some really cool things happening in our personal life this year for us. This year is gonna be amazing. I think we're gonna do great. Maybe we can spend some of our extra money that we're getting on bonuses and stuff and start testing out some quality tankards. But just by that, I mean, this could, not like this particular one because it's from Amazon, it's like $20, but this could be about $60 at least for a good quality one that is food safe.
Yeah, to be honest, there's even some of them we've been looking at that for us to obtain the item, let alone resell it, for us to obtain the item would be about $60, $70, $80 because it's like they're taking actual animal horn and like fastening this to it and that to it and hand etching and doing painting and such like that. So we're going through many options. You'll see a few.
We have ideas. Yes, we want them to be meaningful ideas though.
There's definitely going to be something like a tavern set you could pick up that would have everything from like a serving tray and say tankards and pint glasses and shot glasses, kind of a set of all the above done in certain styles.
Absolutely a Sinflow. They do.
Yes. Yes.
But we want them to be good quality and we want them to be food safe because that matters a lot to us.
Plush dolls.
6-inch plush dolls. Oh, that'd be fun.
I love it.
Aww.
That's
so
super
cute.
sweet. That's adorable.
Oh man. But yeah, I say we introduce them to a little bit of chaos. Also, just a heads up. TGF alert or pre-warning. It is 11 p.m. We're officially at nighttime. The streamer we're about to go to is 18 plus. While we are primarily family friendly with a few adult humor pieces here and there, I cannot promise you the same of the person we are about to go raid.
we are subtle and we are tactful and we do like chuckly tee hee hee jokes that have an adult theme to it. This person we're about to raid over to is definitely very much like in your face about the adult humor. Does not give an F whatsoever. So just to prepare yourselves, if you're looking to chill, you're gonna need to go through at least 5 minutes worth of hype because this guy's gonna jump up and be super hype when we raid, but after that he's gonna be very like chill. But also again, like adult themes. It's
past 5 p.m. HR has
HR has
gone home.
gone
We're
home.
good. Oh, and Net Reader, thank you so much. I hope I'm saying that correctly. Cheers, and thank you for the sub. Appreciate that.
Oh my gosh, did I miss? I'm gonna say thank you.
It just came in. You're good.
Oh, did it? Okay, cool. I didn't miss it.
Yeah, I just happened to be in the stream manager window, so I'm keeping my eye on the alerts. Yes, great time to go to sleep, and especially if it's 5 o'clock in the morning for you. Thank you for being on and watching us at 5 a.m. That means a lot. So
yeah.
Appreciate you.
As we always say, this will always hold true. Time is your most valuable commodity, right? You only get a certain amount of it. You do not get refunds when you spend it. You have spent that time here, and we appreciate every moment of it. So thank you so very much.
Thank you. And we appreciate all of you. We would not get as far as we have today without you. And I'm so excited because we're getting close to 1,000 over on YouTube. So thank you all.
Yeah.
And
we'll be here every Monday starting about 9 p.m. Eastern. Be here every Tuesday starting about 9 p.m. Eastern. We're here longer on Mondays because we're just doing random gaming and stuff. Tuesdays we just chit chat. We might have some community content creators or guild leaders, etc., hanging out with us in Discord. We may not. It might be just community night like tonight. We might even play some games with you folks.
Yes.
And then Saturdays we do our main podcast, which has a little bit more structure. Sometimes we get game devs on. By game devs, I mean Ashes specifically, because Saturdays it's an Ashes podcast, like flat out.
Yeah. But other than that, if all of that sounds good, I mean, I think we generally have a cozy and fun vibe to our tavern. We want you to feel welcome and relaxed, and who knows what other kind of content might come up in the future. Also, if you have ideas for content that you want to see, I'm all ears.
All right, and now that I am personally done stalling because he has come back to his chair. He walked AFK as soon as we said we were going to raid him. So I have been stalling a little bit. I'm very thankful for everything. I meant every word I said, but I said more than I wanted to delay you with. And now he's back at his chair, so now we can raid over. Let's go visit.
That's a good question, Hanada. I don't know. I'm sorry. Hanada was asking what's the rare class and archetype people are picking. I'm
the
not
most
sure.
rare class archetype people will pick will probably be a tank / something.
Or fighter. I feel like fighter. Because not many people are playing fighter, but there's a lot of people playing mage.
Yeah, it's only because mage is absolutely broken. Ranger has mobility out the yin yang, so they can get around everywhere. And if they're not playing DPS, then they probably have a specific target in mind, like Bard that can do everything, and or they want to be a healer or they want to be a tank dedicated.
Yeah. Never played the game. Thoughts on classes? Oh man. Close up question. I think that the classes are interesting so far. I can't wait to see how they develop the rogue and the summoner to be. And I'm super curious to see how the secondary archetypes work. But I'm liking my class so far, and I'm liking testing out Bard on top of that so far. So it's like every class fills their niche perfectly. I couldn't say it better, Sin. Thank you. I was just playing mage. Yeah, weapon tree is also interesting. Yes, then popping 12 goblins in one shot was hilarious. Yeah, there's that too. I don't think mage much broke anymore. No, they're slowly bringing it down. But we're gonna send you off to the sloth, and we'll be back on Saturday and more shenanigans on Monday with me. So I'll see you guys, if not Saturday, Monday.
Vertek will be out of town, so may join in chat and may possibly jump into Discord when Chibi's playing. But Chibi's going to take over the Mead quest on Monday, which is normally a Vertek run thing. Yep. And then Tuesday, Chibi will be running the show and I'll be joining in. Also mobile. So, you know, quality may not be the best on my video. Oh,
your microphone cut out. Oh no, it's okay. we're gonna be reading over anyway, but I think he might be bringing his microphone with him to have good audio. We play a Lyneth. We're on the Lyneth server, but he's saying bye bye because we're about to go and raid over to Wicca. So see you guys later. Bye.